1 Peter 5:8 says, "The devil is seeking whom he may devour." Join Don Allen as he looks to make you undevourable.
Hey, thank you for giving me 7 minutes of your day to make you undevourable. I'm your host, Don Allen. Well, what if? What if? I know that's a big statement, right? Those words right there keep so many people bound up, and they keep people from ever trying to find anything better in their lives. What if? What if? You know, in the last program, I talked about Paul being in that ship in Acts and how it was that he heard from God. He tried to warn the other guys that, hey, you know what? If we keep going here, we're going to find ourselves in some trouble. Well, we know they decided to ignore Paul's advice and go with their own knowledge and wisdom. And, well, sure enough, they found themselves in a storm and suddenly realized, oh, man, you know what? This is bad. Maybe we should have. Maybe we could have. Well, so what if? That's what I'm asking today. What if? See, these guys went purposely against the words of God. So what if? And sure enough, the storm picked up to a hurricane force, it says, and they were powerless against it. And it says that they just had to let it drive them along. It said we were just driven along. They were out of control, you know. They tried some natural things like getting to an island, and that didn't work. They tried to tie up the ship with ropes, and that didn't work. And finally, it says this, as we were being dangerously tossed about by the violence of the storm, the next day they began to throw the freight overboard. You know, I mean, that's just like what we do, right? Well, okay, I'm going to try to lighten the load now because this is getting really bad, right? The violence of the storm. And now I'll lighten the load. Okay, Lord, now I'll quit drinking. Now I'll quit smoking. Okay, now I'm ready to listen. Okay, Lord, okay. Hey, now I'm ready to go to church. But even with that, it says this, and when neither the sun nor the stars were visible for many days and no small tempest kept raging about us. See, the storm is still raging, though. See, when the storm first started, we were okay, right? We were going to get out of this. I mean, I just knew we were going to get out of this. And we had all this knowledge and just knew that it was going to work. And sure, I mean, yes, I was anxious, but I was hopeful. But now the storm's still going and everything the doctors tried didn't work. And I've tried to lighten the load and I tried some stuff. And all of our hope of being saved was finally abandoned and they gave up. And so maybe some of you have given up. And I know that they've given up. And I know the doctors have given up. But I'm telling somebody today that's listening that your God has not given up on you, even in this, your darkest hour. He's got something to say to you today. Paul came forward in the midst of the men and he said, listen, guys, you should have listened to me. And you shouldn't have put in from the sea, from Crete, and brought this disaster and harm and misery and loss. You guys did this. You should have listened. But even now. See, it's one thing to believe God that he'll get you out of something that maybe he put you into, you know, like maybe you didn't understand it and you moved anyways. And, oh, well, now I see that God wanted me to go there. But they did this to themselves. God had nothing to do with this and had actually tried to speak to them and lead them out of this mess, and they didn't listen. Come on, have you been there? What if? What if you followed your maps? You know, what if God allowed me to get into the lion's den? Well, that's one thing. He'll shut the mouths. If he allowed me to get into the furnace, that's one thing. He'll deliver me. But what if I did this one? This is where real fear begins to kick in. What if I did this one? Will God still get me out of it? But Paul says, but even now. See, this is a now time. Hebrews says now faith is the substance of things hoped for. It's the evidence of things not seen. God will create a now moment for you to step into, even in a storm that you got yourself into, but now. Yes, I could have, should have, would have, but now. For there will be no loss of life among you, but only the ship. Not one of you will be lost. Listen, we're going to make it. That's what I need you to know today. You are going to make it. About 7 years ago, I had a really powerful dream. My son, Lucas, he was probably 6 at the time, and we have some family that works for the NFL. And so we've been to quite a few games in some different stadiums. And so one night I had this dream, and my son and I were way up on top of one of those light poles that sit above the stadiums. You know, you're not supposed to go up there. But in my dream, we're up there and we're on the catwalk of one of these light poles, and it suddenly begins to fall. And I can remember the feeling of panic and fears. We're going down fast, and I can see nothing but concrete below us and certain death. And we're moving, and I saw a roof of a shed, and I thought, well, maybe I can jump, but it was too late, and we're going down, and the concrete's coming fast. And I remember I yelled, Jesus! And we hit the concrete, and it made the worst sound that I've ever heard. Suddenly, my son and I, we bounced up, we dusted ourselves off, not a scratch, and I woke up, and God said to me, what if? What if you hit the concrete? What if? Will I still not be your God? Will I still not yet deliver you when you hit what it is that you think is the end? Do you not think that my life is stronger than death? Get up and dust yourself off and live and stop worrying about what if. What if they put those 3 Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace? What if they go to push Jesus off that cliff? What if you've spent all your money and you've ran through all the best that medical science has to offer and it's been 12 long years? What if they take a man and they beat him? What if they hang him on a cross? What if they pierce him through his hands and his feet? What if they run a spear in his side? What if they kill this man and they go and toss him in a tomb? What if they roll a big old stone in front of it? What if they even place guards in front of that stone? What if? What if today you did it all wrong? My Bible says God's mercy is new every single day. Mercy isn't for when you did it all right. Mercy isn't for when you followed all the rules and obeyed God and got scripture on it and heard the voice of God and moved when God said to move and did what it is that God said to do. Mercy is not for those that did it all right. Mercy's for when you went your own way. Mercy's for when you did it your way. Mercy's for when you found yourself in a storm that you put yourself into. But now, mercy. My God has a but now that will absolutely override any what ifs that you might have today. I want you to grab a hold of the mercy of God today. Stop asking what if. Let's just talk about but now. Grab a hold of that but now today, and you know what that's going to do? It's going to make you undevourable.
Thanks for listening. If you would like more information and resources on how to be undevourable, we invite you to check out our website. Go to www.TwoGuysAndABible.com. That's TWOGuysAndABible.com. You can also contact Don Allen directly for prayer. His email address is don@TwoGuysAndABible.com. Telephone is 573-216-1871.